right. Hello, I'm Bonnie here with my friends from Tech Stack Nation. We got great feedback from our first few episodes, so we're bringing you another one. This episode is sponsored by Guid, the company behind the best and fastest data grids and charts in the world. We love them, and we'll leave links for both down below in case you want to learn more about them. All right, let's start with intros. Connie Lung, Enterprise Architect in Angular GDE. How are you doing this week, Connie?
I have fever this week, so my voice is terrible. So please be patient with me.
Oh, no.
I'm happy to be back.
We appreciate you powering through and showing up for us this week, and we will be very patient with you. Thanks for showing up for us. We love you. We hope you feel better.
Yeah,
okay,
thank you so much.
Dylan Hall, you're welcome.
Hello.
Full stack developer turned architect. How are you doing? How did it work out with the flood in your basement? Did you get all that sorted?
Yeah, it's all sorted. Everything is nice and dry, and we're back in business. Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Great to see you. All right. And we've got Pavel, our up-and-coming rock star and future GDE. How are you doing, Pavel?
Hi, guys. I'm glad to have me here. And we will get there to the GDE, definitely.
I absolutely believe it. From what I've seen so far, you do everything that you set your mind to. So I have no doubts. Okay, let's get into our picks. Connie, what you got for us this week?
Oh, this week I want to say how powerful facade pattern is when it's used to centralize state management logic to avoid breaking changes in Angular application. So when I start a small application, I like to use Angular signal to maintain state, but when the application grows bigger, then I decide to change it to state management, and I find out that I make a lot of changes in components and they break everywhere. That's when I find out that I can use facade pattern for state management. I can centralize all the changes in the facade and then call the facade method in components, and then they can stay intact when only the facade that get updates when I swap from one state management solution to another. So I have two separate examples. One is a facade that encapsulate the logic of Angular signal, and the other facade in another step-based example encapsulate Ngrx SignalStore. So all the components stay the same, but only the implementation of the facade stay different in both step-based examples.
Love it. Yeah, I love the facade pattern. So the facade pattern, and the word facade basically means like a false front, right? So if you think of the facade pattern, you're basically hiding a lot of complexity. So if you imagine, especially in enterprise, maybe you have a lot of state management and CRUD operations, you got these complicated services, maybe you have 17 different APIs on the back end that you have to kind of, go gather up all of your data, and you have all this complexity. A facade pattern or a facade service might be like one service for only one feature branch. Then rather than importing everything, you just import that one service with only the things that you need for that one section of the code that you're working on. And it's just really hiding all of that complexity. It's also really good if you're working with junior developers on your team, because then they can just focus on the facade pattern without worrying about any of the complexity behind it. It also is really helpful for keeping your code clean. Love it. Great tip, Connie.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Dylan, what you got for us this week?
Yes. So I was going to talk about generating unique IDs using .NET Core. So for the longest time, developers have used Guid for just about everything to create a unique number. But maybe some don't realize that it's not cryptographically safe. So what happens is that with these numbers, because of the advance of computers, they are just not used in things that require cryptographic safety. So what's recommended to use is a class in the .NET Core, which can help you generate random, unique numbers, and then to actually use base64 to encode that. And what that does is it actually makes sure that you have enough entropy within that unique number, and that you have something that's cryptographically safe.
Nice. I even have the basic discussions in work, which is even faster to use if there's int numbers or GUID numbers also. So there's a lot of benchmarks around that and so on. But having this information is really great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Really great. And my second tip is actually about memory leaks. So like a person may talk about .NET having garbage collection and say that, well, it's all managed, so there's no chance of actually having a memory leak. But actually it can happen. It can happen if you're using caching and it's not configured properly, or perhaps if you're using like a lot of static references, and a number of things can actually cause a memory leak. So there are a few tools that are free to help you to be able to use let's say diagnostic tools to actually track down the source of the memory leak. But one of the tools that I would highly recommend, if you're able to use it, is JetBrains.memory. It is like the Cadillac of diagnostic tools when it comes to memory leaks. I've used it in the past, and it's really good, not only at finding the leak, but you can also like store snapshots and really compare different memory profiles that you've been able to capture. So I'd highly recommend it. And so those are my picks for this week.
Great picks. I love JetBrains. They're so cool. Great picks. All right. Thanks, Dylan. Pavel, what you got for us?
You're mute.
Pavel, you're muted.
Oh, shoot. Okay, never mind. Let's go again. Well, I've prepared some news for you. First of all, last Friday, we had a really great event on the Text Tech Nation, which there was Alex Rickabout, Ben Lesh, and even Matthew Regular join us. So it was really great.
No, Pavel, you stole my pick.
Sorry, not sorry. First of all, I will finish that. And they were talking about the signal propositions. Sorry. Yeah. Again, sorry, not sorry. Anyway, it was really a nice show when they were showing us really how it's going to be with signals in the future, the work in the plain JavaScript. And they were also talking about it like they are not trying to do it only for Angular, but they are trying to make it friendly for every framework, that it shouldn't be only based on the Angular experience. So, and
love that pick. And can I just add, I've been putting up short videos from that talk. They've been very popular. Thanks to Anea for the shout out. Everybody seems to really love that recording, and I haven't even recorded. Well, the whole thing is available like right away in the expert space right after the events, and then they go on YouTube later. So subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see the full videos, and even better, just come and join us for the live chats. It's way more fun. Go ahead, Phil.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I was also asking Alex, so there is another video with short about the migration scripts, so you should really look into that. It's really great. Anyway, just moving to the tip, I was also going through the documentation and the Angular docs, which are the new ones there. It was really great to see the roadmap there, because in the roadmap, there were always examples of which feature you should look into. And it was really nice to see how it's well prepared for the new guys coming in there. And if you even need more comprehensive information about what was done before, what is in the future, you can also find this information in the old docs.
Nice.
So,
and I want to add to that too. I just want to give a shout out to Mark Thompson and Emma Tversky, who did like so much work in updating all the docs to angular.dev when they did the version 17 Renaissance. It's and I really like the what is it, angular.dev/tutorials/learn Angular is like actually like you go right, like they give you like one step at a time and you do it right there in the browser and you see what it looks like. It's like old Code Academy. I love that. There's a playground. You can actually like play with it and use it. I see sometimes criticism online for like the docs, it's like thousands of pages and it's hard to find things. But I mean, we really need to keep in mind, this is open source, it's free. And I also think in their defense, it's hard to keep up because the Angular team is making so many improvements all the time. So I think that's kind of a good problem to have. Anyway, keep in mind, if you're having a hard time, learning all of it or navigating the Angular docs, that's also why we have Google Developer Experts who are here to help and to kind of, support that. So if you have questions, come and find us. We're on Text Tech Nation. You can come and ask us questions. There's lots of GDEs there. We love to help. But yeah, shout out to Mark and Emma for all the work they did on the amazing angular.dev site. And go check out the playground and the tutorials and everything. Great picks, Pavel. Thank you.
Yeah, and some Angular GDEs doing like Angular.dev in other languages. I know Aris lead the effort of the Guid version, and there's a traditional
nice.
Chinese version organized by the Taiwanese GDDs that benefit the Taiwan community and Hong Kong community as well.
Nice. Well,
Great.
maybe.
Yeah, I think they did a lot of work on the new. They're actually still working on like all the translations and localizations and trying to make that easier going forward. So it's been kind of an ongoing effort and so cool. Were you going to add something, Pavel?
Oh, just maybe I will add the Czech translations in the future.
Yeah. There you go. And you should check with Eris about this, because he can also help, because he's done lots of translations, so he can help with that too. Awesome.
Nice.
Okay. What is my my pick? Oh yeah, my tip. Okay, last week I said keep your HTML clean so that you can have performance at scale, right? And this week is a related tip. Another one, listen, it might seem so simple, I know, but this is another really common mistake that I've seen with enterprise architecture that makes a big difference. Super simple, but it will cause performance problems at scale. Keep your client thin. Actually did a talk about this back in 2017 at Angular Connect with Lucas Rubelke. That was really cool. Shout out to Lucas. So basically the concept is, we know about model view controller, right? And most front-end architects will have the interface, the HTML and the JavaScript as the model view controller. But if we think of from a full stack perspective, the entire front-end application is our view. We should keep it as thin and simple as possible. Present the data, listen for updates, fire off an event. You don't want to have a whole bunch of, just like I said last week, you don't want to have a lot of business logic in your HTML. You don't want to have a lot of business logic in your client bundle. You want to really keep that as thin and clean as possible. So that's my tip. My pick was the awesome Signals proposal last week. Pavel stole it. That's okay. It was a great pick. Be sure to watch for that video. And like I said, if you want to join us live, we have the experts come in. We meet in a Google Meet. You can actually be in the Google Meet with us and meet the experts and network and ask questions. Very friendly and cozy. Join us on techstacknation.com if you're interested. Okay, what else? I think, one more thing. Coming up this Friday, we have another free event. This one is our Architects Showcase, where the architects from our study group will present quick tutorials and code demos. Is anybody here? Who's presenting this Friday? Anybody? Are we?
Well, me.
What are you guys going to talk about? Go ahead, Connie. What's your topic?
I don't know. I have various topics. I would decide on that night. Or maybe I want to redeem myself and talk about how to retrieve data using the old way, which is RxJS observable, or to the modern one that use to signal to observable to set the data in Signal. Yeah.
And Connie is very knowledgeable about RxJS and Signals. She's done tons of stack blitzes and demos and blog posts. So if you have any questions about RxJS and Signals and going back and forth between them, definitely come in, because Connie will be there and you can ask her questions as well. And then Pavel, you were going to do one too?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be talking about the dynamic forms, what I was presenting, but it's going to be lighter version.
Nice. The helicopter view. And if we have time, I can talk about the view container ref. I don't know if we'll have time, but I can always talk about that. I love the view container ref, so I can talk about that. Okay, so that's going to be free. Beginners and questions are welcome. This is a free event for anybody who wants to attend. You just go RSVP on techstacknation.com. Thank you to AG Grid for helping us host free events and create free content like this for all of you. If you want to sponsor an active community with over 6,000 developers and architects, email sponsors at techstacknation.com for details and to apply to become a sponsor. Speaking of 6,000 developers and architects, if you're looking for remote talent, we can help you with that too. If you're hiring and you'd like access to an elite group of developers and architects who have really great training, email hiring at techstacknation.com and we'll hook you up. Thanks again to our sponsor, AG Grid, and thanks to our panelists, Connie, Dylan, and Pavel. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Take care.
Bye. 再见。